TBTL.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Hey Dummies. My name is Andrew and I shall be your dummy today. This, of course, is the TBTL video series that we include in the newsletter, where Luke and I will answer any questions you may have. Just email me a question. It could be about our lives, about the podcast, about our opinions, our tastes, our hot takes, our cold takes, our medium takes. Email me, Andrew at tbtl.net, and put Hey Dummies in the subject line, and we will get to your question in an upcoming video. I got this wonderful email here from listener Stan, who says, hello from Central India. I am a Canadian working at an international agricultural research center. And by the way, Stan spells center C-E-N-T-R-E. That's how you know this is truly international. I am a Canadian working at an international agricultural research center, which has its headquarters here in Hyderabad. We also have 12 other research stations across Asia and Africa. I'm attaching a sunrise photo of a crop experiment. Wow, look at this. What a beautiful photo of a crop experiment. Thank you for sending this in, Stan. I now lead the institute, but I am trained and worked as a plant breeder, developing food crops in Canada, Africa, and Asia for farmers. The crops are high-yielding, pest-resistant, nutrient-dense, and climate resilient. My question is this: if fate had presented a different career path for you in science, what sort of scientist would you be? Thanks, longtime listener. Love the show. Stan. Stan. First of all, thank you for this. Thank you for the photo and that interesting note. And thank you for what you're doing. This is important work. I mean, is it as important as podcasting? Obviously not, but pretty important nonetheless. You should know that I do not have a very good scientific brain. I was going to say, if I had any subjects in school that I was more drawn to, not that I was great at any subject in school, I would have been drawn more to, the art of letters. Although a moment ago, the only adjective I could think of was good. So maybe that sets the bar on that subject as well. But yeah, I definitely don't have a scientific brain. It's one of the subjects that I study, or I kind of struggled with the most. And I will tell you this. I'm so bad at science that I don't even really know all the different kinds of scientists. So I Googled it. I typed in types of scientists here, and I have a list of different scientists, different jobs, and I will tell you which ones appeal to me. I think these are relatively broad categories. You got chemist, and by the way, I said I Googled this, and this is just like the like AI generated answers that Google gave me. So this isn't like an official list of scientists, but it says chemist. Now, that would appeal to me. Again, I think I'd really, really struggle. This is a blanket statement for all of these careers. I'm just not great at math. Like, I just don't think that I could be a chemist because of, the skills that you would need. Having said that, I could see myself mixing things in tubes. Like, that sounds fun. I did that for a little bit as a kid. I remember grabbing like toothpaste and putting some mouthwash in there and then some water. We had these little jars and I would mix things up. Of course, my parents found out I was mixing things up, stuff that I found under the sink. And I think they got a little bit worried that I might accidentally put some Drano in there. Don't worry. I did not touch the Drano. A botanist. Oh, that would be. I respect the work of botanists, but I think it's too delicate of a science for me. A geologist. I have a friend who's a geologist, and he works for I can't remember if he works for the city government. I believe he does, sort of inspecting construction sites. So you can see how that would be. Like, that's like kind of an application of geology. I could see that. I collected rocks when I was a kid. I had a bucket of rocks that I would find on the ground and save. A meteorologist. Now that's like the closest thing you can be to a like soothsayer, right? Like a fortune teller. Now, obviously, people get mad when the weatherman gets things wrong on TV, but it would be kind of interesting. I feel like you could really wow people. You could be like, "Well, big storms are coming," and then you're right, and everybody hoists you up in a chair like C-3PO. Meteorologist would be tempting to me. Let's put that on the list. Psychologist. No, I don't think I have the patience to work with people in that manner. Ecologist, political scientist. I don't know if that's really the kind of science that Stan is looking for here, but I of anything, I mean, if you've ever heard me talk about politics on the show, you would realize what a bad idea this is. But I could see myself being interested in political science more than the actual true sciences. Biomedical scientist, I can't do anything that is gross. Like anything that is going to have bio in it, I think I'm not going to be, including biochemistry. I don't like blood. I don't like flesh. I don't want to touch fish. Like a marine biologist would be kind of cool. You get to see like I'm fascinated by the romance of what lies beneath the ocean, but I don't like touching fish. So that's going to be a problem there. A forensic scientist, same deal, my dudes. You think I'm going into some sort of a crime scene and not getting icked out? No way, no how. Let's see here. A microbiologist. My hands are probably too shaky. Biochemist. I think we already dealt with that. Epidemiologist. Hey, we have some epidemiologists in the listening audience. I'm definitely not smart enough for that one. I have never heard this word before, but there's a scientist listed on here as an agronomist. And I'm wondering, is that what you are, Stan? Is that because it sounds like that's agriculture, right? Business scientist. I don't know what a business scientist is, but it sounds like something that Maria Bamford would make up in one of her bits. An astronomer. The heavens are just too vast for me, and I always feel bad saying that. We have, of course, astronomers in our audience. Listener Ash will send us all kinds of, or she's an Ash. I'm sorry. I always call her Ash. Her name is Summer. Ash is her last name, Summer Ash. She's an astronomer, and we call her our astronomer. But I feel like the idea of what's in space is just too massive for me to wrap my head around. So it's like, when you start talking about billions of things, it's like I can't get my head around that, and so therefore I sort of tune out. A computer scientist. Are we counting computer scientists? I think that one appeals to me. I like computers. I like sitting behind computers. A zoologist, a physicist, a marine biologist. I talked about again. Love the idea of seeing fishies swim around, the really bright colored ones against the dark blue. Beautiful, beautiful work. What's happening under the sea. But I didn't even like touching bluegills when I was a kid, so I don't think I could be a marine biologist. Archaeologist as a scientist. Obviously, I'm picturing myself as Indiana Jones. I'm being chased by a boulder. I'm grabbing my hat right as a big stone door closes. I could see myself dressing up like that for Halloween, or a medical laboratory scientist. Same, too close to medicine, too close to having to touch icky stuff. So, I think I'm going to go with, boy, how tedious was this, me just reading a list. I think computer scientist. I'm guessing political scientist doesn't really count for Stan's answer. Or meteorologist. I'm going to go with computer scientist, Stan. How about that? Could we work together? Could I make computer models? I don't know what computer models are. Could I make computer models that would help you in some way while you're out in the fields? Get at me, my friendo. Everybody, get at me. Andrew at tbtl.net. Put Hey Dummies in the subject line and we'll answer your questions. Or maybe you can tell me what kind of scientist you are. Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.